So sorry.
So at least we're not Tyra Banks. I don't know if you've seen that clip where Tyra Banks had one time like she left her audience waiting for like 2 hours, where
Holy
where
cow.
because she was like hanging out with like her crew, and
That's
it's like, oh my god, that's so wild.
That's so
Anyway,
diva.
yeah. Hey
Oh,
guys, how's it
wait.
going? It's I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video with Queen Veve, Lori Brenner. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Lori Brenner, it has been a while. I love and I miss you. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, Randy.
Good. I'm very glad to have you here. When was the last time you've been on a stream?
Oh, I was on Monday on Around
Oh
the
yeah, you were on around
Ecoverse.
the Comiiverse. Oh, we streamed together like 3 weeks ago. We were both on around the Comiiverse. Okay, when was the last time you were on my stream?
So unforgettable.
Yeah. It's been a while since you were on my stream. You were on
That is correct. It's been a long time since I've been on your stream. Probably, I'm going to say November because
oh, wow.
I had my surgery the end of November.
Yeah.
So and then I was kind of healing. Yeah, I think I came back with Around the Comiiverse. I haven't been on, yeah, I haven't done anything. I haven't done a Queen's Court. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything.
People going through withdrawal. We missed that Queen's Court. You had a lot of really cool people on.
I did. I did. I totally agree with you. I liked it. I mean, I still like it, but it was like we were kind of getting in that, in that kind of lull, like the end of the bear
Yeah.
stretching out, and like, no, I mean, they would if I asked them to, some of the OMI or Ecomi team members, as I'm sure they would with you, but
Yeah.
they're all just wait, let us work, push it. You know what I mean? Let us work. We're pushing stuff out. So it just seemed like, and then there were other projects that were just kind of like people were going MIA in those, like I don't think I've heard from Dylan in a long time.
Yeah.
From Autograph, Recur, they went under. Not that I don't still like Autograph. I just, the CEOs and the people they just kind of been quiet here
Yeah.
near the end of this
Yeah,
bear.
which makes sense. Building that. I mean, I feel like people that are kind of first time investors, they don't really understand like companies go through different stages of like a growing phase like obviously the FOMO stage, and obviously we're in that building stage right now where been hiring. And so tell me your thoughts on this. We've had the VV Fox go Rooster Girl over on X say like, hey, here's the numbers for January,
Mm-hmm.
and we had now less than 15,000. We had about 14,000 monthly active users. And I think we grossed like 1.6 million or 1.8 million, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that's the gross, that's not the net.
Right.
Um, and technically, Vivi, because they have like anywhere between 80 and 100 employees, probably was not profitable that month.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? And do you think they should stop trying to grow until they're profitable again?
Oh
Or
goodness.
is this what people do? Give me your thoughts on that.
Oh goodness, no. I mean, that's what you do. Very few people go in and, fund their business 100% or have the money to fund their business and keep up or to even go further or go the next step. I think they've been super lucky. Or I shouldn't even say lucky, but they've done super well compared to, every single one of their competitors, I think, with licensed IP. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I think they had their head and shoulders above the rest. And if you remember, what people were so angry about was not having dedicated people in place. I mean, I remember being on and around the Akomiverse stream with you and people saying they need someone in charge of this and they need more developers. And, everybody said that. And, they finally have. So, either you stay small and you go slow and you go cheap, or, you grow to grow. So, like I said, I think they're lucky enough to have survived the past year, in profit.
Yeah.
And so if it's tailing off now, it's the best. It's the best time to do it because everything's signaling, where things are going to start getting good here over the next 18 months, for crypto in general. With the halving coming up and the cycle that comes after that, or at least I should say has traditionally followed after that. um, we should be on the upswing in crypto. And then, of course, NFTs go hand in hand, in my opinion, with the cryptocurrency world. But
Agreed, 100,000%. I guess before we get a little bit too more into the minutia, we'll go over like the news of the day, and then we'll get into into the nitty gritty. So the major success today was despite selling out, it was very nice, sold out very, very quickly, only grossing about 21,000, which no, I feel like nobody commented on. Nobody talked about, okay, we sold out, we grossed this amount. The big news was burning 18 million MCP points. Did you go and you use any MCP points? What
I
are your
did.
thoughts on this? Oh, you did. Oh, did you get it? Oh, okay, cool.
I did, and I did. I got a ultra rare. I got an ultra rare. I still have it. Will got an ultra rare as well, and he got it. And yes, we both spent points on it. Yeah. So
What did you guys spend on it? You guys had to spend like at least 22, right?
I bid like 25, and
Yeah.
I think he went 26.
Okay. He had to add, did you?
You know what? He has like 1,000,000.7 or 1,000,000 point.
Oh,
You know,
damn.
yeah. So the man's
Okay.
got points. I only have like 780,000 or
Okay.
like that.
Damn.
So I'm like, because at first he said he was going to bid like, I can't remember, like 18 or 19, and I'm like, no, that's not going to do it. I don't think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, no, I'm going to go 25. And I think he went a little bit more than I did, but it brought something new, right? It was fun. There was another little twist, another little piece of gamification. You had some people that bid 40, then you had the people who were like, I bid 6,000 and I got picked. And then it took, some of the people time to figure, oh, Veve sucks favorite. See, I bid 19 and I didn't get it and you got it. And then they're like, okay, wait a minute, stop. You didn't get your MCP points taken off you.
Yeah.
You were the 60% that got randomly selected. So, but like, that was the first thing I heard. Like, how come, whatever got it with 6,000 points and I bid 15 and I didn't get it? Well, that's because we have to remember there's two sides of the coin here. So,
People are so quick to go and judge and accuse and point fingers. It's very strange. I wonder what happened in our evolutionary line to make us, judge and point, because it must have had an effect or been an advantage back in the day, and obviously now it's like you're kind of seen as a little bit. I don't know. You're just seen as someone like, oh, you're the one that points fingers and quick to judge, and it's weird how that goes.
just really quick to jump to the wrong conclusion.
Yeah.
I think some people are just prone to do that for different reasons, on different things. But yeah, that was like one of the first things I heard right away. And then, thank goodness there were people, that quickly kind of say, no, 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 wait, did you see my
Kitty?
I had to put a bell on my cat because it terrorizes my other cat. So now I'm at least trying to let my other cat have the benefit of tracking her stalker.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyways. But yeah, it was fun today. I think a lot of people were excited. I think $20 made it like maybe that's what they wanted to, in a way. Maybe they wanted to stress the system, because that's one thing that's really hard to do in dev and QA, is to put that kind of, pressure on a system in the testing phase. So, maybe they wanted to say, let's put it at a decent price. Let's put it at a low rent. Let's make it really appealing to kind of stress test the system, because Veve's had some issues in the past with new things. So, Maybe that was the reason why they only made 21,000 today. um I don't know. At least that's kind of maybe what I I don't know, Randy.
What did your cat do?
I don't know. I gave her catnip earlier. Maybe that's it.
I feel like
I,
catnip usually makes them go, and they just like chill.
well, it could affect him either way.
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends on the cat. But yeah.
that's fair.
But
So
anyways, where were we? But yeah, I got it today. Husband got it today, so yeah.
very good. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, going from MCP points on the Veve app to OMI, I feel like not a lot of people are talking about this yet. Where the sooner or the quicker people spend MCP points, especially if this is something where the Dragon is great. We've had a bunch of confirmed sales for like 700, 750, 800,
Mhm.
give or take. But this is an IP that a lot of people really didn't know about before Veve, and now everyone knows about it because it's big on here.
Mhm.
But once we get to the Grails, like we're a couple months away from May, where we could get Perseverance Yoda, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and we have Wolverine, we have Baby Yoda. There's so many first appearances that we could get that could be Grails. I've literally had people say like, I will spend all of my 500,000 points on a first appearance Wolverine, and that's just the figure, not including the comic. What do
Right.
you think this does to the OMI token, given the fact that we're going to have OMI token to bronze ticket and then bronze ticket to MCP?
I just don't know how many things are left in the barrel to do a lot of. I don't know. I don't think it's as big,
Mm,
just because I don't know how much they have left that would cause something to go that crazy. Like, how much is really left? Like, in the comics world, there's the Captain America one. I think there's maybe like three more that people would just go batshit crazy over. Uh,
yeah,
You know, um, and collectibles, until we get into Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, until they bust into the Nintendo world, until they go into those worlds, I think we're going to be stagnant with the IP we have now, because I just don't know how much more is left. I mean, partners, Darth Vader, there's so many, and then that whole first appearance idea, like, even if they release, you know 10 more versions of a certain comic or a certain collectible, we still all have the first
yeah.
verse is already here. So would we want that many more Darth Vaders in different poses? Mm,
Well, I
Not
mean,
yet.
they could do it. So I mean, this thing, like this character, is I don't think this is I think they just did a new, hey, we're going to do a dragon. I don't think this dragon like has a name or has lore or a backstory. So what they could do is like, for let's say for the scouts, like, and the royal guards that we had for Star Wars
Mhm.
recently, they were scout troopers. They weren't the actual physical stormtroopers. So like we could go and have normal stormtroopers, and we could have it like one of, I don't know, like 2,000, and then we could have, or 3,000, however much, because those are going to be very stackable. They could be like 5,000, doesn't matter. And then we could have like the generals, which are the same exact thing as stormtroopers, but they have like blue on their helmets, or they have orange on their helmets, and we could have like maybe, I don't know, like 200 of them, or 100 of them. They could make anything super scarce, and they could make it so that people want to get them.
They could. Yeah. I mean, just like you see, which is kind of crazy, but you see it in. I remember my son had a Skylanders toy, and they'd make like 10 different variations of the same character.
Yeah,
But each time you had to pay $15. You know what I mean? So it was like this kind of and the same thing with pops. Like, you'll see Star Wars pops that come in red, blue, green, yellow, orange, purple. Same thing. Exact same thing, just different colors. So I Yeah, I mean, I think bottom line is, it I don't know. I just think we're gonna need more IP to really get someone to go big dog, like 1,000,000 points or something like that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, if you had 1,000,000 points, what would you use? You know what I mean? What would you Pokemon, right?
Yeah, that'd be so for me. That'd be the only thing. But in the same way that, let's say when they give us exchanges for the OMI token, you don't want to start off with Binance because then it kind of pumps and dumps.
Yeah.
You want to start off with lower ones, mid tier ones, and then eventually get to the higher ones. So I
Yeah.
think if they go and they start off with things like this, where the IP isn't crazy but they're scarce, and then slowly they go to better IP, they can do that. But you have a bunch of different ways, and again that's just for drops.
Hmm.
Um, you could have a big announcement for. Have you talked to anyone that went to France?
No, I have not actually.
So this is, I mean, it was in a public setting, and David was very careful about answering. There was somebody that had a Vegeta jacket, a character from Dragon Ball Z on his jacket, and
Hmm.
they asked David, hey, is there any chance that you guys could get Dragon Ball Z? And when David heard like the question, is there a chance that you could get Dragon Ball Z? He's like, yes. So when he went and said that, like a lot of people were like, yo, Dragon Ball Z confirmed, and which we may or may not have. I think we likely would. That type of thing that they have or not have that they would likely have because of their partnership with Alibaba. They've been working on these licenses for years. I think that is coming. I'm not saying we get like Dragon Ball Z right away. Maybe they start with Fruits Basket, they start with Working, Kuroko's Basketball, like a bunch of these smaller animes that not a lot of people have heard of. And if they make them super scarce, I feel like people will go and really get them.
Oh, I think so as well. I mean, anything scarcity, scarcity still correlates to monetary value in NFT world still, right?
Yeah,
Um, that's just going to continue to happen. And I think that's why if they keep it at a reasonable price and have something super, I mean, that's one of the beautiful things with Veve, right? Like if you have that chance of that secret rare, like today, I'm sure there were people that were like, they don't really want the gold dragon, but for $20 to turn it into 600, um, that's worth $20. You know what I mean? So I think you do have a little bit of that because I think those secrets, they're doing a really nice job keeping those low and
yeah,
desirable. You know?
worth it.
Yeah.
So this kind of begs a question. Like in Earth 2, we had a thing where we were able to use our essence, which is going to be their token, and we were able to
That
buy
sounds
a bunch
dirty. You could use your S. Sorry.
of. At least I'm not talking about the flirkin kitty cats and
Mm,
mispronounced.
mm,
I
mm.
can't believe nobody caught that.
That was
Anyway,
Freudian. Okay.
um, we were able to use that for a couple of different things, and the CEO even said, "You guys might not want to pay so much because we don't really have a value of essence yet."
Yeah.
And that same right, like there's right now there's currently no monetary value of essence or not of MCP points. Like we do know that a certain amount of OMI, I think it's $1 worth of OMI will get you one bronze ticket,
Hmm.
but we don't know how many bronze tickets will equal how many MCP points.
Right.
They could go. I mean, for easy math, they say okay, $1 worth of OMI is I don't know, like 100 MCP points. So $10 is 1,000. Maybe $1 worth of OMI is like 1,000,
Right.
something like that. Where that doesn't seem like I know 100,000 to get $100 to get 100,000. That kind of seems like a lot of MCP points for not a lot of OMI.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It does.
maybe
You're
that
right.
maybe it's $1 MCP point or $1 bronze ticket for like 100, and $10 would be 1,000. $100 would be 10,000. I don't know. Well, however they do it.
Yeah.
If they do it really where we burn a lot of OMI, what do you think this does for the token? What do you think it does when we actually start burning? Let's say in April. Well, I'll say like April 1st we can do this.
Oh, I think I think, I mean, I think that'll definitely have a strong impact on the token because I think people you know, they just like the idea. It's additional gamification. You know what I mean? It's a way to improve your odds. And you know, I could see doing that. Like, let's just say I had no points and or you know, no MCP points and something big did come up, you know,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon or something. I could surely see, you know, throwing $100, you know, to OMI to go get myself an extra chance, you know, to win that guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
So I absolutely, but that actually brings up a good point because I thought today for a minute that it was a decent idea, but now that you bring that up, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Like somebody said in one of the spaces, can we sell our MCP points? And I thought, you know, that would be a way for Veve to get, you know, additional money, transaction fees, you know,
Yeah.
nothing heavy. But if I want to sell you my MCP points, I should, you know, kind of be able to. But I guess that would probably prohibit, you know, the OMI to bronze, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if that really is a good idea now that you bring that up to me.
The articles that have been coming out recently, and we'll go over all of them, but you're likely going to have an incentive for using OMI within the app.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, right now there already is. You stake it, you get MCP points, you get bronze tickets, which is great. Did you read that article came out about 2 weeks ago?
You know, I think Will read it to me and gave me the highlights of
Yeah.
it. Um, no, I don't recall reading that. But I went back to work, you know, a few weeks ago and I kind of got stuck in, you know, 2 weeks of playing catch up after being off for five. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like, just, you know, I got to get all this, I got to get through all the, like these 8,000 emails. But no, what are you, what are you referring to?
So where they had improving accessibility of the token, they
Hmm.
didn't give us a timeline on this, but they said the goal is to have quick and easy ways, as in plural, a multiple percentage of ways for users to acquire and utilize the OMI token. So if we take it at the best case, multiple ways to acquire and use the OMI token, again, in multiple ways, likely they mean exchanges, but also they're right now in order to get the OMI token on the app, excuse me. Okay, bless me. Um, they have to you have to bridge it, and that kind of sucks. You know, that kind of it
Yeah.
takes a little bit, and it's kind of scary. So most likely they're going to go and have a really big announcement where we're able to buy OMI on the web app, and if we can do that, I mean, the people won't care about the price of OMI. They'll just be like, okay, $1 worth of OMI gets me, you know, however much, you
Yeah.
know, bronze
Okay.
ticket 30 points.
I hear you.
Um, so that's one of the things I really like, and I don't know if that's something that you've really kind of taken the time to think about, or just like, okay, here's the news.
You know, no, I haven't really thought about that. I mean, essentially, you know, it's like, okay, we know this is a deflationary currency. We know that in time it's going to burn. They're going to implement different mechanisms for it to burn. Um, Patience. You know, I still, I keep going back. When I invested 2 years ago, what did I know? I knew this, and this, and it was really shaky. And now I know Disney, I know all these things, and I still feel good. It's just, to me, it's just one of those, you know, this is the plan. So far they've done it. They haven't done it as quickly as a lot of people, you know, think they should have or could have or whatever. But to me, I'm just like, they said they're going to do this. They said that they're going to, you know, make it, and we just got to let them do it.
Uh,
And I'm okay with, like, I'm okay with that right now. You know.
so speaking of things that they said they were going to do, you know, they talked about Vveverse a lot. Have you seen? And I promise there's a connection to where I'm trying to bring this up.
Okay.
Have you seen the Disney buying 10% of Epic and then kind of creating their own metaverse within
Yes.
Fortnite? Okay,
Yes.
so you saw that.
Yes. Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
All right, so before I get to the second question that I was going to ask, what did you think of that at first glance, first time watching? Quick reaction.
That's exactly what I imagined.
Okay. All right. So that's what you imagine Disney's metaverse looking like. Basically, Kingdom Hearts 4. It looks really good, really clean, even though it wasn't gameplay we saw it just rendered. Um,
It's just that idea. It's
yeah,
just that idea that I had, and like we got a just like Disneyland, and I'm just going back to that whole gift shop. That comment made multiple times about Veve gift shop. Like
yeah,
I always pictured it like, and it may be wrong. I could be totally misinterpreting, this 100%. But it's like I always kind of pictured, if you've been to a Disney park, they have a Marvel section, they have a Star Wars section, they have a Disney proper section, and it kind of just looked like how I thought. And then whenever in the early days when they're like, you guys are thinking like, you're not kind of thinking like we're thinking. We're not here to build a metaverse like like our own huge, like all this gaming and such. You know what I mean? We're going to be, we want to be like the gift shop.
yeah.
And I just thought this can fit in like so perfectly. Um, like just I could just see Veve, right there on that map. Um, but once again, that's kind of my thoughts. And then the partner statue, you know, conspiracy, speculation nation. The thing was gold. It is not gold in real life. It's
It's
bronze.
like bronze.
It's
Yeah.
bronze. Um, I don't know. I don't know, but I know lots of people buy lots of things of what they love, and a lot of people like Disney. So, who wouldn't want their partner statue after going into the Disney verse if they could get one and
Same.
create with it or whatever. So,
I like that idea. I've even said the past couple streams, most likely they'll be loosely connected in one way or another. We don't know.
yep.
But I hope people realize that to make a game, or especially a metaverse, can take years. Vivi's been working on this for like 2.5 years, 3 years. This is something that even for Disney and Epic, it's just going to take time.
Yeah.
There was a NFT Pirates video. It came out earlier today. Did you happen to see that?
I
It's
didn't
very,
see it today. Mm-mm.
it's very recent. He goes, and I could find the title of the video real quick, just because it was, and it wasn't like clickbait. He actually talked about, and he says, "Is Vivi part of Disney's new universe?" And he goes and I feel like this is something that you would hear like from like a Super Moon Boy, but it wasn't. He broke it down. It's like saying, "Hey, listen, we have all the first appearances on Disney.
Mhm.
They are clearly making the 6%. Every time something sells, they don't even have to
Mhm.
do anything. Why would they try to disrupt that market? Why wouldn't they try to join these markets? As being like a gift shop, as being whatever." But he also kind of made it sound like what you see there, for Disney's metaverse with Epic and because and Vivi's Viviverse, he might kind of made it seem like they were one and the same. And he used the cavernous connection because cavernous is
Yeah.
obviously Viviverse, and they have over with Epic, and people had like the Moon Boys and like the shows like, oh, this outside the fudders and outside the normal thing. I would have said that was like maybe a 1% chance of that actually happening, maybe even less.
Yeah.
But after Chad or NFC Pirates video, I kind of think it's like a 3 to 5% chance that might happen. Am I like being swayed by him? Am I like being swept off my feet into the Moon Boy status, or is that something that might be possible?
Oh, I just think we don't know, but from the why would why would Disney cut them off though? Like it just it doesn't make sense. Why would they spend this time, this effort? I mean, they want it to go both ways. You know what I mean? They want a symbiotic relationship. They have to realize that, they're gaining revenue for some of their physicals, etc., because of, the connection with Vivi. And I just don't see it being possible that Disney's just going to be like, oh, we got our own thing. See,
No.
I just don't see it. I mean, maybe anything could happen, you know. Now, how deeply involved they are, that I don't know, but I think they're going to be involved, and they're gonna connect.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of time. Just with once again with digital collectibles, I was getting concert tickets the other day, and I'm on Ticketmaster, and I see my digital collectibles. I'm like, what the fuck is it? You know what I mean? And I click on it, and it's like NFL, soccer, concerts. And you click on it, and you can get the tickets. Um, they're from the secondary market. So whenever you get a ticket in an NFL game and you actually go to the game, you get emailed a code and you could redeem your NFT. Because if you look at the NFT, you know, the definitions and all that, it's like, what is a digital? It's a non-fungible token. And it's like, you know, it's coming. It's coming. That's all I'm trying to say.
I see it. Have you ran into or talked to anyone that used the Apple Vision Pro headset?
I watched the stream that you
Oh,
had
my feet.
day
Yeah.
one, and I thought that was really cool. I liked the comment that somebody made. I don't know what stream it was on, but how after a couple hours, it was like they said something to the effects of your brain just kind of connected with it, and it felt very like natural and immersive, much more than they thought, or compared to previous headsets they had. And I'm like, okay, that's good. But it looks really amazing. Like it's going to be fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I want to travel with it. Like, I love to travel, but I know I'm never going to probably get to see the pyramids. Not because I can't afford it, or because I am a chicken shit, and I'm just not going to go that, like, I'm not going to risk going to that country. There's several countries I'm not going to go to.
Egypt?
No, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to Egypt. Like,
I
I
mean, I
don't.
could see like, I feel like Egypt's like a second, or like, is at least that area is probably like first world country, or at least that area. Um,
Probably.
maybe not. I mean, again, I just feel like the touristy areas might be okay, but
I just
um,
feel like you're pretty much bait over there if you're. I mean, that
okay.
sounds terrible.
No, I feel you.
You know,
Blind. Yeah. Okay.
and I feel that same way about, you know, some South American places. I don't, you know, like,
Yeah.
I isn't so, like, as much as I would love to go there. So, you know, I digress. But I think, how cool would it be, you know, to get to go see the pyramid or the
Yeah.
Sphinx? You know what I mean? But actually, with those, that's going to be really cool, because you know,
Vance like Strong says you get shot in Egypt.
I
So
am sorry to all the Egyptians out there that mean no ill will. I'm just, you know, it just sucks. Like, I'd love to go to Israel. I'd like to go see, but I mean, well, especially now,
yeah,
obviously.
not now.
I mean, I'm not going to fly into Tel Aviv now, but
Maybe in like 2 years after we get a new
yeah, no,
leader in some country and we get Anyway,
just
so
no.
I was going over with a couple of friends like just the amount of ways you can go and use the Apple Vision Pro headset. Obviously, seeing historical places, but I
Okay.
feel like now that nowadays, I feel like a lot of kids in high school. I know my friend Lauren had that a few years ago. The kids are given tablets, for school and homework,
They are.
and I feel like now, like if companies go and say, hey, if we go and we give our workers headsets, and this way they could have a million different tabs open, they have music, they have whatever, it can increase productivity.
So much.
Why not pay the 3,500 each, to get them their headsets? I feel like cops can use it so they can go and like not have to use like their speed gun all the time. This person's speeding, and this is how many people are in a room, and I just feel like there's a lot of different uses, and this is the way that kind of the world is going. Like it scans QR codes automatically, so you don't have to watch Disney Plus and pause at the right time to scan the QR code for things. If you're watching Disney Plus in there, it'll scan it automatically for you, which is really 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 cool.
I thought the exact same thing but companies are slow to
Mhm.
kind of adopt. I mean, they just are because it's a huge expense. I mean, even the kids with their laptops and their tablets now, how long did that take? I think my son they finally did that in schools maybe like 3-4 years ago. I know COVID really
Yeah.
changed that. Like that was one thing COVID, I think, pushed technology in the schools a lot. I think, you know, companies though, like I worked at a nuclear power plant. I'm trying to think what year it was. It was the year 2000. They were just getting computers at the plant, like at the
Yeah.
plant in 2000. And they had already been around at that point for like quite a while. You know what I mean? I think, we had one at home before that. So I just think companies are not quick necessarily to adopt. But I'm hoping they do because I think it would be so good.
Yeah. I mean, especially as when you have Moore's law, where the amount of computing power gets, like doubled every like 18 months or
Multiply,
2 years,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a way that we can go and have really good computing power for either the same price or the same amount of computing power for half the price. I feel like in the next couple of years, you'll have a bunch of these really good quality headsets that'll be like less than $2,000, and it'll just be a smaller bullet to bite. I know $2,000 is still a lot for people, but it's going to get more mass adopted when it
Well,
reaches
yeah.
that.
2000, I think, would be a smaller bullet to bite,
Yeah.
for sure. But I don't know. We will see.
Do you see the people that like are getting like pulled over in their cars, like while wearing the headset?
No.
Yeah. There was this guy. No, he was driving a Tesla, and if that had full self driving, it was probably safer than people that just driving with it on. But he had it on like while driving the Tesla, and that was just a lot of fun just to see him get pulled over.
Oh,
Hi,
gee.
kitty.
No. Yeah, this one. Oh my goodness.
So on the all right, so that's kind of the news of the stuff that we want to talk about. Let's get to some of the finer points of the last, let's say, couple days here. So we had Pro the Dogecoin millionaire, buy a gold and silver Veve logo. Do you think this kind of sets a precedent for internet celebrities to kind of come in and maybe like to kind of take what they want using that internet fan money, or do you think this is a good thing because now as you get more notable people in, it kind of raises the level of the gold and silver logo group?
Oh, I want everybody. No, come on in, buy your way in. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. If you don't have the grails by now, sorry. You just weren't early enough.
Yeah.
Come on in. That's kind of how I feel at this point. But I was talking with Guido, and we were talking about an unredeemed logo. Like if you had, if you didn't have one, would you just leave it unredeemed and in its form? Like, do you think that is going to really be something?
Oh, like you mean talk of the card, not
The
like the
car
logo.
and the
Oh, yeah.
logo. Yeah, I mean, obviously the logo.
Um, so if it's the card that's unredeemed, okay,
An
because
unredeemed VB logo, gold and silver logo.
the reason why, one of the reasons why Pro the Doge bought the one that he bought was because that didn't have any of the secondary stuff like the version 2 logo, the monkeys and all that. That wasn't redeemed. So that's part of the reason why he bought it. So he can go to San Diego, New York Comic Con and redeem that like $1,000 worth of stuff.
Okay.
But if you're talking about a card of the logo, so you get the logo that you can redeem, and then the rest of the stuff. There are probably so few of those out there. I don't even know if there's. I don't know if I don't right now. I don't know. There might be one out there. There was this one guy that when the logo was down to like $3,000, I was like, I'll give you like 3,500 for it, or like 3,800 if you give me the card.
Right.
I was like, nah, I want like $5,000. It's like, it's kind of a lot. Um, and then he just wouldn't budge. So I don't, I imagine he didn't sell unless he got liquidated somewhere. But outside of that, I don't think there's any others. Do you know of any others?
Yes.
Well, outside of Guido's, because
No.
okay, I see what you mean there.
No, I don't. I
What?
just I don't know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, wow, that's, I don't know if I'd redeem that. Like
Yeah,
if if I had, if I had that logo, I don't know if I would redeem that. Um, I mean, it would be like untouched, unspoiled, and then like you said, you would get everything that you could possibly get. Like,
yeah.
come on.
I'm texting Guido right now, seeing if he wants to get, because there's another one out there right now, number 408 on the floor has unredeemed collectibles. Um, so I'm just telling him like grab it. So if he wants to, keep his actual logo unredeemed and then buy this one, he could at least have the logo and then keep his card unredeemed. I
Yeah.
think that would be a really good play.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be talking about all this, but I
Yeah,
mean,
fair point. Okay.
yeah. But
So
well, he knows. He was going to come on your stream to. Well, we were going to come on. We already talked about this, so I guess this is okay. We were going to come on, and he was going to redeem it. And it kind of be like like an unboxing. But
oh yeah.
the more I think about it, it's like, how much do you want for that Guido? Like, maybe you don't want that card.
Yeah. So I guess if we'll move on from this subject. Me and Brittany were talking about going on another cruise, and I was talking with Eva from Viviversity about it on and she'd be down to go too. If it's going to be in like sometime in summer, June, July, August, give or take. Would you want to go? Would you want to go?
You're just a day late and a dollar short, Randy. I just booked my vacations
Hmm.
for the year, and I am going to go to Turks and Caicos. I have
Ooh, very
never
nice.
been. So, yeah.
That,
So
wait, when are you doing that?
when am I doing that?
Yeah, like what month, quarter ish?
Second quarter.
Okay, yeah, that'll be too soon. Yeah,
Second quarter.
gotcha.
Second quarter. So we do have a few things planned, but that's a really good idea. But I don't know though. I've never been on a cruise. I usually go to the
Oh, really?
place.
Oh,
Now,
they're great. They're
yeah,
so much fun. The only bad experience I had was in like 2010. There was some hurricane that we kind of got hit by, and I don't think it was really that. It was, well, it probably was, because when we got to shore, there was like this fleet of lawyers all handing out their business cards. There was like, if you experienced any type of
ah,
whiplash, and
ah, my neck.
I was like too young. I was 19, and I was like, oh no, I'm not a bitch. I'm a man. I didn't
Fine.
get hurt on that. And my friend Matt, he's just like, yeah, we won like this class act. Like they didn't get a lot. They got like a couple grand each, but
Yeah,
still, my dumbass 19-year-old self was like, nah, I didn't get, like, I was literally in the gym, and like the medicine balls were bouncing everywhere, and I was like getting hit in the face. I was like, all right, this is like too dangerous to work out. But I could have said like some stuff, and I could have got the money, and I just didn't. Um,
yeah. What are you gonna do? When offered a class action, take it.
yeah, I should. Yeah, I didn't know.
I
Um,
mean, there have been a few things like, whatever, AT&T, Wells Fargo, check this box and stuff. There's been a few, I mean, not like massive amounts, but I've got some money back. I'm like, yeah, I had a checking account from here to here, send in your card,
nice.
get a check.
Yeah, and that like Equifax thing where like their credit got hacked or whatever, and your
Mhm.
social security number was compromised. I did that. I got like $150, and like I don't even think that I mean, I never got like stolen identity or anything. No random
Right.
persons trying to be the real Randy Chavez. But
That
um,
you know of.
yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying. Some succeeding. Have you heard about those like 9-month cruises?
No, but I know you could basically buy an apartment on like a huge ship for so many months, like that, and it just like goes all over the world. But you live in like your little like you have an apartment on the ship.
Yeah, the ones I've been seeing on TikTok. I don't know if it's the same one. I don't think it is.
Okay.
The ones that I've been seeing are they go on. They're like, let's see what this is about, and they'll go on for like a month, and literally like 2-3 weeks into it, the TikTokers are usually fine, but it's like they're telling stories about these other patrons on the cruise ship that like this one couple, they're like swingers, and one decided they didn't want to swing, and then the other one's like, nah, heck that, we're still gonna do it. And they're like, so kids are fighting, and it's so much drama. And I know a higher evolved person would be like, I'm above that, but I am not above that. I'm totally here for it. It is so it's so fun to hear the stories of, well, I don't want to say like couples, ruining their love, but it's fun hearing the stories of like the drama that goes on. Um, I would like to go on one of those for like a week or two, just to see that.
So these people go on 9-month cruises.
Yeah, it started like a month or two ago,
Okay.
and the people that are filming it, it's wild. There was one where the somebody found a member of like the wait staff that they found him like naked in between a swinging door, where
Okay.
like I guess they partied too hard like the night before, and they just fell asleep in like the self-aid buddy care position, like in between the swinging door. And like, I know this guy was like trying to go to like the arcade that they had on there one day, and he just sees this guy all buck ass naked. And it's like, oh my god,
No, I haven't seen that.
that's
No,
great.
no, no. I wasn't even going in that direction. I was going in that OMI money direction where
Oh
you
yeah,
you can buy it's like a floating city. They have like everything on there, restaurants, groceries, post office, and you just float around the world all the time.
sounds great. So
Yeah,
if
but
Omi does go up really crazy by like late Q2, would that maybe make you rethink your decision of, we've booked our vacations for the year already? Now that Omi's like 4x from there, you could maybe go and do another vacation.
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't ever rule vacation out. I just know, what we have going on, and then most likely we'll have New York this year. So you got to kind of factor that in. Yeah, I mean, at any time there's more vacation to be had. I I I like to go on vacation. Um,
Good.
but we only have so much. Well, we only have so much time off, and you know,
I feel you. I understand. Guido messaged me. He's like, well, I can't read it right now, but it's kind of fun. Good stuff. I want to go to South by Southwest. The thing where Dan is speaking with the head of like Marvel Comics.
oh,
It's over in Texas. It's in March.
yeah.
Oh God, excuse me. Um, what do you think that pertains to? Obviously, it's going to be about Marvel and X-Men. Do you think they're going to do something like what Bat Cows did, where like if you have a Bat Cow, you can vote on where the story goes next? Do you think it's something having to do with Marvel Unlimited and then moving some of their constituents over here? Give me your thoughts, Laurie.
I can only speculate, Randy. I mean, I hope it's like Digital land, you know what I mean? Like some way, one way or another, you get the NFT, you get the comic, the physical or physicals, and you get the digital, or that's kind of one of my hopes. the whole vote on I don't know how much people really get it. I don't know. I didn't get into that, so I'm a bad person to ask that because to me,
Okay.
I'm like
Potential
whatever,
human
whatever.
asks.
The cow is purple for this scene. Like I don't give a shit, you know.
Oh, poor cow. You would
I
be
shouldn't
stoned
say.
to death in India. I think they worship cows over there. Anyway, potential human asks, does any chocolate remain, Queen Vivi?
Yes, potential human sent me this. Oh my god, this Japanese chocolate. It's called Nama, Nama, and it is. Oh my god, Randy, this chocolate is so good. It's like fudge that's real. It's not fudge. It's the best chocolate. It's so silky and it's so good. And I just eat a piece or two a day. So yes, half of it's gone. My son got 1 cube and my husband got 1 cube. Now, in my defense, there's only like 16 cubes. So,
You give the crumbs to the
well,
peasants.
I
All
gave
right.
him an eighth, okay? I gave him a total of an eighth.
Oh, that's so good.
But oh, it was really good. And his wife also sent me a bag with the Veve logo on it. So
Awesome.
that was really nice. It's always
Yeah,
nice to get things.
potential humans, good people. Me and Brittany met him in the city a few months back, and he's just so chill. He's just a cool dude.
So he was human, in fact.
Uh, I mean, I didn't check underneath the flesh. He could have had an exoskeleton with. So I don't know. Most likely, I think human.
All
But
right.
you know, un, unconfirmed. On the on the other end, so there's been a couple of really good deals out there. I feel like the sentiment has shifted. I've had one o'clock's back a month ago, just 1 month ago, people were asking, "Hey, should I buy this now or should I wait? Do you think things will go down? When do you think the bottom is?" And over the past 2 weeks, the messages I've received are not any of those. The messages are now, "Hey, should I buy this or should I buy this?" Or just plain, "What should I buy?" There's no more people trying to time the bottom. I feel like the people have gone on and like, okay, now it's time. Have you guys been buying anything? Whether it's you yourself or you guys a couple or a
Yeah.
family?
Yeah, he's been buying some things. He's been on a comic tear lately. Um I've gone back and there's some things that I went back and bought, but I feel like for the most part that kind of went back and looked what do I like, what do I still want to keep? Like kind of did that through a series, you know what I mean? Like over kind of time.
Yeah,
So I don't feel like I have like a lot of junk in my and I shouldn't say it like that, but I mean I have a couple things like that ugly purple bird that I don't know why I have. Um
purple bird.
the macabre or what is it? The one that was kind of linked to the Disney.
Oh, the rooster from Moana.
Oh no, 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 no,
No.
no. It's a decon piece, decon one piece. The
Oh.
macabre, the purple vulture looking bird.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I have a few. I have a few things, but for the most part, I mean, there's things I want, but it's like, if I haven't got it by now, I'm not going to go back and say I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. Now, my husband, there's about 3 things that he wants still.
All right. We'll leave that to
That he still wants. Yeah.
the private messages,
Yeah.
the DMs.
1 comic and 2 collectibles, I will tell
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Cool. I can't wait to see what they are. Can't wait to get it out of them.
Yeah.
On one of the things that we've had on the article I referenced before,
Mhm.
the article, they talked about only the NFT. They talked about either new ways to get the token and utilize it. And towards the end of the article, they talked about MCP to accessory, because originally that was supposed to be only to
Mhm.
accessory,
Mhm.
as the MCP to accessory. Um, for me, I talked about this a little bit before early this morning. Well, when I was a kid, I was a little bit of like I was a little emo. I liked like I don't know, like My Chemical Romance. I used to like wear black a lot. In the metaverse, how are you going to make your avatar? How will you accessorize your avatar? Will you go on and will you make it as you are now, or will you make it like teenage Lori, where you have like the
Um,
crop tops and like the booty shorts show off the glutes? I know you used to work out a lot.
um, no, no, I think I would be me. I think I would be. I would not be the one designing my place though. That much I do know. I could, I would totally like to pick out my furniture though and like decorate and buy my stuff and then have somebody like design it and just have like a badass castle. Um, for sure. But
Okay,
I would
so
be the queen. I would actually, I take that back. I would be the evil queen. I would be
ooh,
as my image is if I could be.
okay, I could see that. I
Uh,
picture it.
yeah, I do it. I totally do what's on my ex profile. The evil queen.
I'd love that. I think that'd be. Oh, it's February, so it's Fud Free month. Forgot about that. Fud Free February.
Oh, did they all decide to take a break?
Yeah. I think just a lot of bullish things are coming out, and there's really no room left for a lot of fudders. Um, there's just not.
Well, I'll look at my phone and I'll see something like you were mentioned in, and I'll see a response like from Jordan or something like, you know, I just know he's responding to someone,
Yeah.
that's fudding. And I'm like, I just love blocking because I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. And I'm glad. And I just moved on. So, like, that is so nice. Like, I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't even care. So, it's like, but I guess Jordan does.
I there a lot of stuff used to like make me laugh, and some of it still does. Thing I'm about to tell you, it still does.
Mm,
I don't know if the person like maybe never watched my videos, or they just thought that in my profile picture the person that drew me just had like they gave me a tan, like a healthy bronze tan,
hmm
but they called me a white supremacist. I was like, what? Because I asked them like, what are you talking about? And then there's like, well, it was like the day before. Something came out with Disney and how they had a different like a scale, like a chart to go by. Like for making content, you have to
hmm
represent the underrepresented, and it was like, all right, I could see this maybe as a guideline, but if you really take it to a T, it's like, oh my god, all their stuff is like super kind of like woke. And then Elon like commented on it, and everyone that like knows and follows Elon, they'll joke about like, oh, Elon, you just bought Twitter, now buy Coca-Cola and put the Coke back in. Like they'll joke about random stuff. So
Okay.
I commented like, Elon, like buy Disney and make Disney great again. So
Oh,
the
Randy. Randy.
so the guy, again, just as a joke, because that's like, I know he's not going to buy Disney. I think he can afford Disney. Well, I don't. It's kind of lost a little bit. Anyway, um, the guy, I guess he had commented on that too, and he's just like, I guess you're like a white supremacist now, right? Like saying that he was a white supremacist, and it's like, I was like, oh my god, like this, like I'm brown, right? Like this is, um, it was very wild. It's very, yeah. I don't know. Something like that is just it's good conversation starters.
No
It's good.
comment. I'm not touching any of that.
Okay, so we'll move on from that, and we'll go to the next thing that is in my screenshots here, which will be, or I guess this wasn't a screenshot. This was a article that I haven't gone over yet. So I'm level 56 now. What level are you over on the VV?
Ooh. Yeah, but you went in and bought all those comics, didn't you? Whenever they were cheap.
Well, so what I did, I messed up because I would buy like the same common comic over and over, which gives me,
Oh,
like
no.
the amount of collectibles. Which,
I am a 53.
oh, nice, nice,
Level 53 with 2,000 points to go.
nice.
So what do
I
you?
56.
Ooh,
And so what I did was I would buy the same common comic over and over, and
yeah,
that would make me move up in the top 500, but it doesn't get you a lot of points.
right.
If I were to buy like the rares, the amount of money you spend to MCP points is a better bang for your buck. And now after today, that's what everyone was doing. Everyone was buying these rare
No,
comics.
I
There's like
know.
nothing. You got them? You got a bunch?
No, I heard like Tarzan was the one Tarzan went from like $4 to like 30.
Yeah, yeah, because like nobody thinks of Tarzan, and there's a lot, there's a lot of them.
Now, how's today's drop doing, anyways?
Uh, I think the ultra rare is around retail.
Eighteen
Um,
ninety. Mm-hmm.
okay, and then obviously that secret rare is a big multiplier. It's much higher. For some reason I'm not finding it right now.
666.
Oh, nice. Someone should get that.
No, that's the price. Not
Yeah, someone should get
oh,
that. So, because we've had confirmed sales for 750, so this kind of, yeah, this makes sense. Um, I just can't buy right now, knowing that I could get more OMI, and I know so OMI's up like 35% in the last month.
yeah.
Has that made you guys say, okay, we've had our fun, we're not going to buy anymore, or is it like, hey, it's still in triple zeros, we might as well still buy a little bit while it's down here?
He is like he's the one that goes off and just buys like that kind
Yeah,
of like he's the one that goes out and just buys the Omi, buys the Omi, buys like the bumper, buys the,
yeah,
he buys those kind of things. And I just kind of, I just kind of like, I don't know if let him is the right word, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Um, but then like together we do like the big portfolio, like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, that kind of one. So, I don't think he's quit. I mean, I know he hasn't quit because, what do we have? And then like, then all of a sudden we have a couple million more. So I don't think he has ever quit or if he will quit. I think he just puts, he just keeps putting into it. And I just kind of let, because I don't do any of that. He buys it all. Um, so I think we'll probably continue to buy here and there, just to DCA some of it because I think I got in at 007 on a big chunk.
same.
Of course, he got in way lower than me, but I put in, that much. So I think we'll continue probably to buy here and there, but I don't think it's anything like, let's go get this much, let's go get our 20 million while it's still there or 50 million while it's still there more. Um, and I also don't think we'll just stop. I think as long as it stays in where it is, around where it is, we'll probably
Yeah.
keep buying.
I had let me mess with something here. Oh, I don't have it. So I had I mean, your other portfolio, the main one's doing really well because Bitcoin hit like 48,000 before. It went down a little bit, but it's still over 47, and people are kind of going a little nuts.
Yes, it has done really well. That's kind of like I had it in a tradition, I had it, I think I told you the story where I had to break up with my, my wealth management guy, like it was like a breakup. He's like, "Lori, why'd you move your money? Is it something I'm doing? Are you unhappy with me?" And I'm like, "No, it's not you. You guys just don't offer crypto. And right now I really feel the need to go, and it
Yeah,
was rough. You know what I mean? Like it was very hard. Like he took it personally, and yeah, so we got in and I'm gonna say, we moved everything I think maybe about 7 months ago. And we've at least, done 50%, a 50% increase in 6 months. Whereas with him, I was averaging, I don't know, what is it, 6 to 8% yearly.
yeah.
in that other account.
Yeah,
So
a good move.
so where else can you get now? Conversely, as we all know, you know, in a blink of an eye,
Yeah,
that
go
could
away.
that could turn south. Um, but really, like right now, just the returns, I could just walk away in 6 months, make what I could have made in that account in what, 4 or 5 years. So,
Yeah,
I'm real happy with that account right now.
nice, good. I there's a I so there's this guy that like a newer whale that I'm talking to. I'm not really new anymore. I've been helping him with crypto for like 8 9 months now.
Mm-hmm.
He just had a decent payday or big deal go through. He had three 100-ounce bars, and he's like, Chavi, go sell this for me. And he did. I did, and he bought like $6,000 worth of crypto today. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, nice. I've and I posted that on Twitter or on X, and a lot of people are like, oh God, no, don't sell don't sell silver, don't sell precious metals for crypto. I was like, that like silver is down from where it was like 10 years ago, right? And like people are so you have this really big clash of people that are like from classic investors. Like if you were to talk to that guy you said you just kind of like broke up with and say like, hey, you should move all your stuff to crypto. I don't know. What's that called when people have like this, not like culture shock, but you're just kind of breaking their world. Like everything they know is like false.
Well, the thing is, though, I know what you're saying. You just, I don't know, shattered illusion. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Shattered is illusion. I don't know. But like, here's the interesting thing, though, is that was a really important conversation. That conversation actually told me a lot because, whenever I did finally have to make the call, because they wanted to verify it before they released it. And I didn't take all the money out of there, but I took a pretty decent chunk out of there. I took half of it out of there. And it was really interesting, some of the things he said to me. He said, first of all, he said, up until recently, we haven't even been allowed to personally buy crypto.
in
Okay.
their how would they? All right, sorry. Keep going.
Okay. So he's an agent. He's a part of, a big Raymond James.
Hmm.
Um, but he owns his local, and he said, up until recently, Lori, we weren't even allowed to buy crypto personally. And I'm like, okay, I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Then I said to him, I said, maybe next time you meet with whomever you meet, you may want to say that you're potentially losing or you're going to lose business because of people like me and moving to crypto. And he said, trust me, we're all well aware and they know very well um, that that's happening. And I was like, oh, okay. um, let's see, what else did I get out of that? But it was just like so blatant that I couldn't believe that he wasn't allowed to buy crypto. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to buy it as probably like the owner or being, having his own whatever. But that blew my mind. Oh yeah, and he said, "Yeah, I saw it at 16 and I really wanted to buy it." And I was like, Bitcoin. And I'm like, okay. So to me, all of those things were, really, really bullish.
Yeah, that's really telling. That's very so there there's something I probably can't say on here. Um I'll say that big institutions are the people that work for big institutions are just people, and
Mhm.
everyone in them knows how slow they have to go because a bunch of the red tape, it has to be above board. um, but the people that run and work for those institutions are just people, and like the guy that you wrote with said, they're all well aware that a lot of money is moving towards crypto.
Yep.
I think was gold at like a $10 trillion market cap, give or take.
Yeah.
I think over the course of the next 10 years, you have millennials will go in and inherit, I don't know how many trillions of dollars because, boomers are going to
Hmm.
not be around. And a lot of them, stocks and bonds, stuff that grows, 8, 11% a year, or like crypto, which has these massive gains. I feel like you're going to have a really big shift that nobody's really ready for.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a fight you'll have with the old guard. A bunch of governments of the world have a bunch of gold, have a bunch of silver. Um,
Yeah. I was shocked though he didn't try to talk me out either. Like he really did not try to talk me out of it. Like, like say, that's really risky and da 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 da. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't saying the things that I expected, you know, him him to say at all. He was like, I understand that position. I'm like, at this point, I already have traditional. I'm fine that way, but I'm going to go from being fine to maybe being really freaking fine, and this is the opportunity, and he was very, like I said, though, he didn't try to say, well, these, this is, don't do this and this, he didn't really fight it too much once I kind of talked to him. But, I thought I was like, hey, use me just as an example. Like, hey, some people really want this. I said, I would stay with you guys. Like, I wouldn't have gone to another, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have gone to another broker
yeah.
if I could have bought it, just bought it through him. And I said, just, tell them that. And he's like, oh, they're well aware. It's been pushed up, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Good.
So, um, yeah, I think it's coming. I think Will just told me too that Fidelity took invested 1% of one of their most conservative funds. Did you see that?
No, but I love this.
Um,
1%
one
conservative.
yeah, 1% of their most conservative fund, and invested in Bitcoin.
That's what
Um,
I like to hear.
so that's interesting. So I think Bitcoin is the
Yeah,
gateway crypto. You know what I mean?
definitely. Definitely.
The
Um,
gateway drug.
I'm so curious on, obviously you have Bitcoin, you have a lot of top 10, Solana, Cardano, XRP, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm very curious to see how this goes for, well definitely OMI, because that's what we're all heavily invested in. But just the like as random meme coins in general used to always pump, and that's when you just had a bunch of degens just what. But now when you have there's a saying called a little bit of knowledge is very dangerous.
Hmm.
Suddenly, if you have people that are not making 8 to 11% each year, but they made like 50% on just this 1 to 5% investment that they have. Are they going to go try and do anything? And how easily will they be swayed by influencers on YouTube that are going to go say, you should buy this coin, you should buy that coin? I'm very curious to see how many of these things go from like a $700,000 market cap to like a $30 million market cap.
Oh, some will. I mean, right? That's just going to happen. What's going to be the one that's going to do it? Um, it's like I also think too. Sometimes nothing could be worse than the person that walks into the casino the first time ever and wins, hits a slot
Yeah,
machine. Um, because to me, people that do that, it's like they see it and they don't cash out in time, or they don't take profit or whatever. And then now you're always I think that, always looking for that. Um, but that's why when Rain talks about this is so much different. Like, whenever you talk about those kind of coins with Rain, he's like, rah, rah. He's like, Randy, no, quit it. Um, but it happens, But
yeah.
to me, that's more Vegas. You know what I mean? Like that's more Vegas than.
I I have learned that for the cat, we had recently just launched a comic book which took many months to work on. I think it looks great. I think the story, kind of ends on a cliffhanger. What happens next? I thought it was a pretty cool origin story.
Mhm.
Um, I think it moved the needle maybe like 50%, and then it went right back down the next day. I was like, okay, all of this work for this little itty bitty thing is like, so I'm kind of learning that it really doesn't matter, even if you give the token utility, even if there's different things that you're building on the IP, it's just got to hit. And it's just, so by all means, I'll still work on it. There's still other stuff coming out, but yeah, you could have something with, I don't know, like Flintstone gummies, like Flintstone vitamin, crypto, and that can just run. And
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I haven't thought about those things in forever. The little hard ones that we always used to have, the one
yeah,
like, I'm gonna eat Fred. That's
the memes on that were great, where I would see as like these random diseases and cancers flowing throughout my body, and the diseases wondering why I'm not dying. And there's like the 100 Flintstone vitamin gummies you ate, like 20 years ago, and they have like lasers in their eyes. They're ready to fight.
I haven't seen that one, but that's funny.
I love absurdities. I love like. Did you see the Barbie movie?
I did. We're gonna differ on this.
Oh, you hated it? Oh,
I love Barbie, but I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was so over the top cheesy.
yeah. That was like the fun of it. Like when John Cena comes in as a mermaid, that was great. That was amazing. That was so much fun. I thoroughly
It wasn't bad, but I don't know. I thought it would be more. I don't know. I thought it would be more like girly and not so.
It's a little girly.
It is. It's a little girly, but I thought it'd be more girly and less cheesy.
I mean, I don't want to say that girliness equates to cheesiness, but when you have like a shirtless Ryan Gosling half the movie, John Cena, the guy that plays God, who's the guy, Shang-Chi from from Marvel, all them shirtless, good looking dudes being all shirtless, like all right, little girly there, but I still like it. I enjoyed it. I like the fish out of water stories. So when Barbie kind of goes into the real world and it just being that, I don't know, those things are really fun to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I had mixed reviews of Barbie. I don't know.
I feel like I don't know why I brought that up. I had a point. It's left me now. It's gone. Oh, just absurdities. I like stuff like that. That's so absurd. Like I like Cocaine Bear. It was a really bad movie.
I liked. No, I liked.
But no, I loved it.
I liked Cocaine Bear. I thought that movie was hilarious.
Oh, I love that. That was great.
Yeah, I watched Ted again the other day, and I'm like, that movie was pretty. Like when the scene with Tom Brady, just I was dying. I forgot how, but like that was an absurd movie. I like that one too.
There's a show. I think it's playing on like Peacock or Hulu or something, like a TED show, and it's really funny. I've seen clips on TikTok.
Yeah, I watched that. That's why I went back and watched the movie, because I was bored. We just put it on and it was funny, and then all of a sudden the movie popped up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it. I watched it again, and I was laughing. I thought it was funny. Yeah. But yeah,
they make a lot of good stuff.
And then it was Comic-Con. Like I totally forgot all about that. They're in New York City, and it's in and I'm like, I forgot. It had so much more meaning now that I'd been to Comic-Con.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy like I said, just I feel like I'm overusing that word absurdities. I feel like I really overjoy a lot of that stuff that people find silly. I think it's because I'm a little older now. I take myself a little less seriously, and I like that type of stuff. Or when I was younger, I had to be a little more serious.
Do you like are you also a not Drew Carey, Almighty God, Evan Almighty?
Oh, Bruce Almighty, yeah.
What's his
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, like he can just be too much. Like some movies he's okay, but like he's to me like too much too. Some in some of the, and William loves him like in early movies, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
it's too much.
I think a lot of it is guy humor, where
Yes.
it doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what time period of movie. There are some things that are just guy movie, and like for the most part, I feel like, like I'll watch the Super Bowl. Like I know of sports, like I can watch a game, have a beer with someone, whether it's baseball,
Hmm.
football, whatever. But for the most part, I'm like, yo, let's watch Gilmore Girl. Like I feel like I'm not like a man's man,
Hmm.
but I still have that guy humor. I love Spaceballs. I love Die Hard. I love
Oh
like
yeah,
Expendables.
Spaceballs. Oh,
Yeah,
every man loves Spaceballs.
it's
Why?
so good. It's so
It's
good.
not.
It is. It is. I would you you shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. It's so good.
It's terrible.
Well, see, like this is where we differ. But it
It's
goes
so
for my
dumb.
point. Like that's just a guy movie, and even though like I'm not
Oh,
as far away from a guy that you can get, but pretty far away. Like it's a universal guy thing. Um,
you're right. I think you're 100% right about that. Because every guy, like you're right, every guy loves Spaceballs, and I'm just like, that's not funny.
so funny. So I think Jim Carrey might be one of those guys where I don't know. I'm just a fan of him in general. Even like his like not funny stuff. Like he was in Kick Ass 2. He was in the Number 23, and like the Number 23 was really not good, but I don't know. I liked it because he was in it. Um, he just might be one of those guys.
Yeah. I'm okay when he's not so over the like I said, it's so over the top. Um, yeah.
So
But
you don't like the Ace Ventura movies?
no, I
Yeah,
don't.
because he's like Jim Carrey to like the X level.
Yeah, I don't like that one. But I do like what is the one about Irene? That one I oh, the one where he finally just gets
Me,
pissed
myself,
off.
and Irene.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
one. I do actually like that one.
There's one that you might like. God, it's not You Mean Dupree. It's he's married to some blonde chick, and it's like near like the housing crisis, and
Dick and
every
Jane. Fun with
yes,
Dick and
have fun with
Jane.
Dick and Jane.
I
Yeah,
did like that one. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was
because
good.
he's not over the top in there, but it's still a great. It's still really funny.
Yeah. How did we get on
I
Barbie?
don't know.
No, either. I don't know.
There's- when Jim Carrey NFTs, what I don't know, what company does he typically go with? Does he have like Universal movies? I know he's definitely not in Disney.
I have no idea.
Well, is the Grinch? How's Grinch Stole Christmas? No, it's not Disney, right? No, it's Dr. Seuss.
No,
I don't know who owns Dr. Seuss.
I don't know either.
No.
Do you think people would like do you think Dr. Seuss would sell? Or do you think it would be like Sesame Street?
I think the book might. Well, I don't know if they have like the Onceler, or like the Lorax,
Yeah.
that might do okay because it's and here's where I want to talk about this as well. When the Disney and Epic thing came out, all the fudders are just like, okay, well, Vivi's done for. No one's gonna want to hang out in the Vivi verse when this is happening. But I feel like people don't understand that Fortnite is really a bunch of the max age is usually about 24. There's a bunch of teenagers, like 12-year-olds, and then
Hmm.
like the adult is like 18 to 24 that are really spending a lot of money. And on Vivi, it's a lot of late 30s, early 40s, and something like the Lorax, which is a lot of us watched like in the 90s, like with the Onceler and
Hmm.
all that. That I feel like that might do well. And I grew up with the books, One Fish, Two Fish, Breakfast Bluefish, Green Eggs and Ham. I feel like that might actually help.
It might. I don't know though. Like I grew up with a lot of Sesame Street, and I don't have either one. I don't have any. I might have Cookie Monster, but I don't have the other ones. And I don't know why, but I just don't. I don't know.
It's because the little girl inside of you has died, and what remains is the shell of a human.
That
No,
is not true. I was at a toy store last week looking for the scratch and sniff strawberry shortcake dolls
Okay.
because that was just a fond memory. Like there's this it's an old toy store. It's called Renegade Toy Store and it's a toy store. Like but it's not a big toy. It reminds you more of a comic book store. And they have like Cabbage Patch dolls, old Barbies, like
Okay.
and then all kinds of like Star Wars stuff and all kinds of like,
Nice.
boy stuff. And like they had the Smurfs, the little like they were that big, the little
Oh, I love
Smurfs.
them. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god," just memories started flooding back. And I remember they used to have strawberry shortcake, like little plastic doll, but they smelled like their flavor. Like strawberry shortcake smelled like strawberry shortcake, and then there was like when the and I was like looking, I'm like, "Oh my god, if I find one of those, like that will just take me right back to being 8 years old." You know what I mean? Like that will
Yeah.
just like put me right back there. Um but yeah, that store is cool. Like part of me still wants to buy, like I'll see like a Barbie with a big, and I'll be like, oh. But then I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with the Barbie? Like, what am I gonna do with her? You know?
There was there's this one girl that I dated in like 2017. Uh, she had a bunch of Barbies, and she was a collector. She kept them in the box, but they were like, let's say, the bed is here, and then like the TV is here, and then the shelves are up here, and she would
Mm,
have them on the shelves,
mm.
and they would creep me out because they were like looking at us, and I was like, I can't I can't do this in this room. Um, but
See, I would think Barbie would be better though than like baby dolls.
well, she had both. She had a bunch of,
Mm,
but yeah.
okay.
But I just checked the Sesame Street, the Golden Cookie Monster, and the Golden Oscar the Grouch. They're
Mhm.
21 and $25 each, so like $47. You can get both of them, and they're secret rares.
Yeah.
So I totally get those. Um, but yeah, I when I when I was younger, um, I always thought I got like bad luck because the scratch and sniffs would like never work for me. And then it wasn't until I was like 9, I was like, oh, all right, I just don't have a sense of smell. I have not smell. Okay. But for
Oh,
years, I was like, oh man, this is broken. And I thought that was happening for like years. I was like, oh, all right.
wait, you don't have any sense of smell.
Oh, I never told you that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it was it, the first ever memory that I have of it is it was like a summer day. I was like 3 years old, and my grandma said like smell this flower. It's a really pretty smelling flower,
Mhm.
and it was hot outside. And I tried to like push my face against the flower, and the flower was just like a cooler temperature than it was outside.
Mm.
And I remember people saying like, oh, like hot and smelly. So I thought that like hot was bad temperature and cool was good temperature. And then I like a few years later, there's a show called Angry Beavers where this beaver Daggett, he got skunked. Like a skunk sprayed him and he
Okay.
smelled.
Mhm.
So Norbert, who's like he's the smarter one. He's like played scientist in this particular episode, and it's like, all right, we're gonna spray you with all of these things that are supposed to smell good and see if it gets the skunk smell out. But like this is a cartoon, and it has like cartoon logic, and I didn't know that because I'm like 6 years old. And eventually, towards the end of the episode, he goes through everything. He just gives up. It's like, Dagger, you're gonna smell forever. So like he throws them in the trash. And then suddenly, after he throws them in the trash, like the computer goes like ding, ding, ding. I was like, oh wait, that's it. Stink plus more stink equals less stink, like the double negative. I was like, oh, okay, like math. Okay, that works out. So up until I was like 11 or 12, I thought like that's how smell worked.
Mhm.
Because like when my friends would say like, oh, if you when a kid didn't like vegetables, if you eat broccoli and you don't like the taste, just hold your nose and then you won't taste it. It doesn't taste as bad because you're not smelling it. But
Right.
I didn't know that, so I would hold my nose and it would taste the exact same. I was like, this doesn't work at all. Um, so yeah, for like years, I thought I was just weird, which I am, but but
Oh, that's bizarre. So you
yeah,
don't know what anything smells like.
no, so there apparently there are some things that smell like they taste, And then there are other things that like, this smells horrible, but it actually tastes, not bad. Like certain types of cheeses and certain types of dishes. But I don't know how different stuff like the Randy lore is so crazy. Uh, yeah, so I have no idea, which is like a lot of my girlfriends in the past have been really cool with that because they could just like fart around me, they could do whatever, and I'd have no idea.
Yeah, you like no deodorant. You know.
No, I like there was a I don't know if I should tell the story. Um, so I guess at the end of like, let's say you're at a wedding, right? And you're dancing and you're in heels or you're dancing, whatever. And apparently, feet smell when they sweat and your body odor gets worse when you sweat and dance all night, apparently, right?
Yeah, yeah. For some people, yeah.
So in like 2010, I was working at this place called the Leaky Lifeboat. It was a bar. It was cool. I was just doorman, checking people's IDs.
Okay.
And then I
I'm
met
so
this.
scared right now. I'm so scared. Go
Well,
ahead.
I met this girl Natasha that wound up becoming my fiance years later. Um, but she's like, hey, we need like a doorman at the strip joint I'm working at. Do you want to come work like a strip club? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll work there. That'll be fun. Um, and
Okay.
then in one time, I I didn't know this until after because another doorman there happened to go. Is how I met my friend Scott. He had done the same thing that I had one night after hours with this girl, and when you're like stretching, you want to stretch a little bit, and sometimes your feet kind of go when you're stretching your hamstrings out. Your feet are kind of in the area of your midsection, your belly, your crotch, that area. And I guess the combination of smell of the feet and that area made my friend like roll down the car window and gag out the car window because of how bad it smelled. And I remember thinking like I did not notice that because
Wait, was that Natasha?
no, it wasn't Natasha. It was another. Me and Natasha had broken up at this point the first time because of another. So I'll tell you the story real quick, and then we'll get like all your reactions to this. Um, we had a conversation at this strip club. And she's like, hey, like in order to get into this country, to immigrate from Ukraine is like I had to do some really not good things. And I was like, okay, we're having the talk, okay. And then she's like, I want to make sure that you understand that I do have like a past, and it being, not all, roses and cakes and stuff. I was like, so I go and I take a line from Backstreet Boys because she never heard of like Backstreet Boys. So I said like, Natasha, I don't care who you are, where you've been, what you've done, as long as you love me.
Not me.
And she goes and she's like, "Oh, he's so sweet. Я вас люблю. Поцелуй меня." And then which means like I love you, like let's kiss. And then like maybe like 6 weeks later, the song, which has never played in that thing ever, it comes out of the club. If she could have broken off that pole and swung it at me, she would have. We broke up on the spot, and after that is when I started, with the other girl, and so yeah, that was summer of 2010 for Chavez. Um,
Wow. I don't even know where to start. I don't know if I start with the feet or the cooch or the Backstreet Boys. Oh God.
we could just go back to Jim Carrey. He's a great Canadian actor. If you want to destroy your possible, yeah, Chris Toby, Backstreet Boys is destroyed by possible. Well, we weren't engaged at this time. We had just confessed our love. So yeah, it was.
um, well, I would say, I don't even know what to say to this, Randy. Um, that poor girl. um, but you know what? Okay, so when I was in Paris, just told this story yesterday. Me and my niece were in Paris, and we were at a grocery store, and there was this guy, and he had a wife, and a little kid was with him, and I kid you not, it smelled so bad, like the body odor stench overwhelmed us to the point where we had to like our shopping plan, we had to wait, like go a couple hours over, and then we even tried to go back like once they moved over and out, and it permeated the air. Like he stunk so bad, and maybe that explains it. Maybe some people just can't smell themselves. Like, would you
Yeah,
know if you stunk? Like, what do you do? Do you just wear deodorant? Just
yeah.
just
I
in
I get very self-conscious. I keep deodorant like everywhere because I don't know, and I
what?
feel like
You're not
yeah, I
supposed.
keep deodorant like every like there's
Oh, I thought you
um
said you put it everywhere. I'm like, don't do that, Randy. That's bad for you.
so there was one time at it was at East Village Green Animal Hospital where I was working. It was like '05, and I had worked for a little bit, but I had to go on like kind of a date right after, and I didn't have deodorant. So my friend Tina would, she was a dog groomer, she would spray like the like cologne on like the dogs after they would, get bathed, bath, nails, ears, and they would get groomed, and
Okay.
it's supposed to smell nice. Thank you,
Okay.
Matt, for the super chat. Let's get this bread. So I was like, I didn't have, so I sprayed the dog cologne on like my armpits, and I developed this like weird like hygroma and it was like instant too. It wasn't like, oh, it developed a few days later. It was like it hurt to like move my arms back and forth like to run. So because it was like so irritated. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And and then I finally figured out, oh, it was probably from that. And then the doctor that was there the next day is just like, listen, just take some like some Benadryl and like you'll probably be fine. It's like, all right, and that was that. But yeah, I get really self conscious about smelling. So I'll shower like twice a day. I'll do like even sometimes when I don't need to. Yeah,
Yeah, that would kind of be bad. Because, you always think people that are really stinky, men and women in various areas, you think, like, how do you not smell that? Like you just do. Like, I don't know.
there. So I
Or at
don't
least
know.
you don't, but I
Well,
mean,
I don't. Yeah,
most people, unless you just kind of grow accustomed to your stink.
I guess you can. Um, I guess there's two things. There's reminds me of this guy. I don't know his name. He used to go to this gym called Synergy in New York and Long Island like years ago, like 10, 12 years ago.
Mhm.
And there's two guys, a guy Jared and Rob that I used to work out with, and they would call him Mr. Febreze because they said you would want to like take Febreze and like spray it on because apparently he smelled. I don't know if he just did like cardio or just didn't shout like whatever.
Right.
Um, and oh God, there was something else I was gonna bring up. I forget what it was. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. It's I'm not drunk. I didn't drink anything. I didn't have a. Oof. But I feel like we got way off way off topic.
Yeah,
We're about
I
to
don't
go.
even I don't even
Oh,
I
all
don't
right. So
even
here's the other that I was gonna bring up. It makes sense that when after you work out or go for a run, you have like dirt on your body and you scrub everywhere. But there are times where like I'll have showered like the day before after I worked out, and then I'll like wake up the next day and maybe I don't know if I like sweat in my sleep sometimes, but I'll like take a shower even though I showered like 12 hours ago, not having done anything except for sleep, and then I'll still get like this like dirt on my body. There'll still be like this foam, and it's not like I'm scraping off skin, like there's not skin. It's just I don't know what that is.
No, you're
So
sweat. It's
sweating at
no.
night,
Yeah,
yeah.
you sweat at night.
But like I can't smell it, so like I just think I'm just perpetually just like dirty, and it's like oh
Yeah, I think it's just a night because yeah, I think a lot of men are yeah, that happens too. They just sweat in their sleep, you know.
I mean, I do have some really wicked dreams, especially when I eat late at night. I love eating late at night because I have these really psychedelic dreams. Do you do that?
No.
You just have the ghosts that
I I that I I I dream in the morning, like after I hit snooze, because I
Mhm.
remember those dreams. Like those are the ones I
Oh, okay.
remember. But like there's certain dreams, like I always have the recurring dream that teeth fall out. Like I
Oh,
always dream like my teeth are falling out. And I'm like, why do I dream my teeth are always
yeah,
falling
that's
out?
horrible.
So, because of course I look it up and it's like, if you dream your teeth are falling out, that's very common that you're stressed out. Like that's one of my ones. Like I don't have the naked dream. You're all of a
Yeah.
sudden back in whatever, and I've never had that like that dream per se. I mean, not that I haven't had naked dreams, but I've never had that naked dream. um, but God, where were we going?
Wicked
But
psychedelic
most
dreams and eating
but
the
most
pussy.
of my dreams aren't crazy. Like most of my now what is weird is in my dreams, like I'll remember the place from my other dream. Like I'll go back to the same place that isn't even a reality to me. Like the same building. I don't know this building in real life, but I'll go back to this building in my dreams like multiple times. Like I don't know if you do that. Like it's not anything that I know consciously, but I'm like, oh yeah, this is, I know this building. I've been here before. So I think that's kind of the weirdest thing I do.
So I've had that in a couple of different senses, like where every now and then I'll wake up from a dream and I'll
Mhm.
see if I can go back to it, and most times I can't, but every now and then I do get back to it.
Do
But
you?
I never have like one thing that I had this dream 3 years ago and now I had it again, today. I haven't had that.
Yeah, it's not the same dream. It's the same setting. You know what
Oh,
I
so
mean?
it's like a
Like
new episode in the same area, but you're just okay.
it's a complete, and then that's when I start thinking, is this just something I saw on tele? Is this that whole thing where they say, um, what's that whenever what's that when you know you've been there before but you haven't been,
Deja vu?
like is it like a deja vu thing? But like like I know like these certain buildings in my dreams they repeatedly show up, or a certain street or something like that. Like I'll be on it and it'll be like I'll pass the same things, but it's not anything in real life. So I don't know. That's the weirdest thing I think I do in my
So I'm
sleep.
gonna get a little weird here, or go weirder.
Okay.
There's this girl that I have on sometimes, Jen Scott Pickett, who she's really big on TikTok, got like a couple 100,000 followers over there, and she goes and she talks about past lives. And I I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a good amount of stories, and she's not like I'm sure that who I can mention without offending. She's not like one of those people that you can kind of tell is maybe not all there, or
Right.
maybe like they're like she's very well read and very constant, speaks clearly, and she's like, listen, there's a bunch of these stories where parents are talking to their kids. She had just one recently saying that this couple moved from England to Ireland when this girl was like 2 years old, or vice versa, from Ireland to England.
Hmm.
Their daughter was 2 years old, and they passed by this. It's like a meat, like a butcher, or it's some like convenience store or something. And it's like,
Hmm.
Mom, that's where I used to work, at the hospital. And it's like,
Hmm.
that's not a hospital, and then as the girl got older, she'd be like, no, like she'd remember like she used to wear white scrubs and she used to, do this, and then eventually somebody mentions that, oh, that used to be a hospital back in the day. I was like, what? And this girl like basically said like what it was, and how this girl didn't watch anything where the characters were nurses, and this girl, and she's written a couple books about that, where people, especially kids, they're still aware
Kids.
of their past lives.
Yes.
Do you
There
think that's
that's
what you're
real
experiencing?
that is real common. There's a God, I can't remember who the baseball player was. Um, but there was a kid, a story recently that I just read an article about, but there's like, I think there's a whole book on it, but, you know, the kid knew shit that like you couldn't have possibly known, like, you know, anything that they would say, like, okay, like this kid was like 4 years old or something. Well, what hotel, you know, did like he saw Babe Ruth's statue and said, like, to his parents, like, he was a real son of a bitch. And they were like, what? And then like I don't know how it all went down, but basically they're like, okay, when we were on the road in, you know, St. Louis or, you know, whatever, Fulton, Missouri, what hotel did we stay at that like is completely gone and demolished, etc. And this kid's like 4 years old, and he's like the Gray Tavern, room 202, like knew it all. And I've heard a lot of stories like that, but then they say they lose it. Like once they start to get to be like 5 or 6,
Yeah, new
it
memories.
starts to get erased. One of my nieces actually passed where her grandmother lived, and she wasn't even born when her grandmother lived. And she's like, you know, she was really young. She was like 2, and she's like, you know, that's where, you know, that's where grandma is. Like, so I think there's, you know, I don't say no to anything. Like,
No.
I could see that happening. There's just, I mean, there's a lot of stories out there, but then you hear the ones where, do you remember that movie, like Jesus Is For Real? You know, they found out like that the dad pumped the kid with all that stuff and, you know, made millions. So it's like, yeah, yeah, that movie turned out to be like a complete fraud. The kid
Yeah.
said that like his dad made him do it, and, you know, and like even convinced the mom because the dad said that the mom had a miscarriage. Like the little kid knew that, and they, you know, that's what made her. Yeah, he's like, I knew my little sister from heaven, mom. And the mom was like, oh my god, you are. And then like here dad had told, you know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so, as much as that's, well, one, that's an interesting story. And then, okay, two, that's shitty thing to do. But three, that's like, I understand, like, you can make a lot of money with that. Like,
Oh,
everyone will,
he did.
yeah.
That they made a shit ton of money. I mean, they made a movie out of the kid. And then it all turned out to be just, you know, the kid eventually said that, you know, it weighed on him and his dad made him do it, and, you
Oh,
know, promised him stuff and, you know, told him not to tell, and, you know, but I don't know. I don't know, Randy.
I wonder if the kid, I know the kid said it weighed on him, but I wonder if it's like, hey, dad, you promised me this, you didn't give it to me. And like, okay, dad, you could have spent the $50 to tell him. And there's
Jigs up. Yeah.
you ever see War Dogs?
Oh, a long time ago. I don't even remember it.
Uh, it's towards the end of the movie. It's like they could have gotten away with all the stuff that they were doing, but the one of the guys like didn't pay like the Chinese workers that they had separating like the bullets or whatever, and it could have just been like, okay, you're making millions, you could have paid him 25 grand for all their stuff, and like he didn't. And it's like, oh, that's how it ended. It's like, damn, that was a
Well,
great movie though.
me and Will just saw a preview for a movie. It's called Ghosted,
Mm.
and we thought of you. You have to watch it because it's a guy. He goes out on a couple dates, I guess, with a girl from the preview, and all of a sudden, like, she just quits. She just ghosts him, basically.
No.
And then, like, he tries to find her, and he or she's like this agent, like this spy. You
Yeah.
know, we're like, Nastascia.
Oh, no.
But like, yeah, she didn't ghost him. She just like, I don't know, whatever. But
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
totally want to watch it. But
I feel like, well, maybe not. Maybe, like maybe I'm kind of thinking I'm a little too bigger than I am. But I feel like at this point, if you Google Randy Chavez, it used to just be like nothing. Maybe if you really search, you get some military photos, but now you search Randy Chavez and there's my face. Like, I feel like if she had just Googled me and be like, oh, okay, what is this? And I feel like she could have reached out, and so either really doesn't want to reach out, or just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe, who knows? Maybe one day. I don't know how that. So that's another thing where it seems like on the table for peace talks, Russia will get Donetsk, Lugansk, and Crimea, officially, and then it's over. If now I don't, I hope Biden will say like, oh, let's get this deal done, so this way I could say, worried afraid of Putin, he's not getting all of Ukraine, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and that could be really good for the market.
Yeah.
Or it could all blow up in the face, like, no, we're not doing this, and war drags on until we get a new president or whatever. Did you see that Tucker Carlson interview?
I did not. No.
So the first 13 minutes, and it was really boring. Well, it's just Putin giving like a history lesson at first. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was so into just politics and world events, and like every day for years, I would wake up, and while I was working or before I went to work or whatever, I'd watch, have it on hour and a half, at the news channel,
yeah,
CNN or whatever. And, I just found that at some point, I'm going to say, right after, um, I don't know, maybe it was after the Biden election, it was just like, this isn't healthy. You know what I mean? Like certain things would just get me, so infuriated that I would hear, um, that I couldn't let it do that. Like it had too much control over how my day went or how I felt or how my psyche felt. And I realized I couldn't do a freaking thing about anything other than, vote, fundraise, or volunteer.
yeah.
And, I think that a lot of people kind of just struggle with that. Like you can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? So why torture yourself with hearing it? You know what I mean? Like certain things would just get me so mad, and it's like, what good is this doing me? Just getting me so mad because at the end, what can you really do? Um, you
That's
know,
good for workouts. Fuel your workout with rage, and that's probably about it.
yeah, I mean, that's about it. But I mean, if you sit there and you like, even like with the war, you know, it's horrible. But to sit there and watch, like this happen or, the school shootings and stuff, like, God, it just makes you just feel, not that you should be blind to those kind of things 100% and
Oh,
not know what's going on. But, it's just so hard, I think, to watch a lot of it. Um, and I would rather talk about Veve and OMI and digital
yeah,
collectibles and live in my bubble
yeah,
sometimes,
same.
but I just do my piece. I do what I can do.
I'm
So
I'm really hoping we can go and get a cruise going, or we can get like, and I hope we
I thought we
I
were
hope
doing
we don't have
Vegas. What?
what,
I
huh?
thought Vegas was supposed to be on the table this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's that'll be later this year, but yeah, yeah. That'll be when Decon's going.
Yeah, I think Vegas would be a good trip.
Yeah, that'll be great. I whatever Decon is, like December or whatever.
Yeah, that's a rough time though for so many people. December with the holidays and stuff. I don't know.
Wes says I googled Randy Chavez and just found one picture. I googled I googled Randy Chavez. I see my Twitter. I see the interview with David. I see a bunch of
You had
there's a
that
bunch.
ready. Oh my God.
Well, I googled it, so it's uh, good
Like,
times. There's
I didn't even have a digital footprint before Vivi.
you never had like a MySpace or like a Facebook? No.
Was adamantly opposed to it.
Huh. What was your main concern with like social media?
Just everything. Just like if I want to know you or I want you to know about or if I want you to know about me, I'll reach out to you. You know what I mean? Like nobody needs to know what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, what I'm eating, what my marital or relationships like that's none of your business. Like
No.
no one needs to know that. I never had it. Nothing. I mean, just I had nothing. And then I go from that to this, like extreme. Like I was happy. I'm like, nope. You you might find like, well, now you see phone number and data, pretty much you could find that for everybody.
Yeah.
Like you could find their data, their phone number, how old they are. I mean, pretty much anybody that exists, you could find that if you know like what general area they live in. Um, but I don't know. I just didn't want any, just, you didn't need, I didn't have that desire or that need. But now it's like, look at this, you know, you Google
And
Queen Veve and you'll find me.
100%. I mean,
Oh,
there's a, well, I mean, I think there's a reason why a bunch of people born in the 80s and 90s are not married and they are less happy than the older generations is just because you have that social media, you have that contrast of the relative poverty, even though you yourself might not really be in poverty, you might be well above that line. All of your peers, they're just showing the best of the best and they're on vacation, they're doing this, even though it might be their parents or it might be their families. So I feel like a lot of people in the younger generations are really kind of sad that they're not measuring up to what the top of their peer group is at. And then
oh,
just back in the day, I feel like you didn't see that.
oh, 100. Oh, I think so. I think 100%. I, I could, I could see how people are just comparing themselves, and so much of it's not true. That people even put on there, and you know, they're taking pictures, 100 pictures with the film. There's people that I'll see, and I'll be like, you don't look, I'm thinking like, I'd never say that, but you don't look anything like your picture. Like, you put 6 filters on, you turn your head, you take 25 shots that way and this way, and then you pick out of the one, which one is exactly. And it's like, I don't know. That's a lot of that's not even real.
Yeah, that's I don't have the. There was somebody telling me, and they're like, listen, and it makes sense. Like when you, I mean, if you're single, a lot of, I mean, I don't really give out my phone number ever, like anymore. Um, but a lot of girls will ask for your Instagram. A lot of people don't ask for their
Mhm.
numbers anymore.
Yeah.
And my Instagram is mostly like people that, because I use it as like to advertise like the podcast. Hey, shout out to this person that agreed to come on the podcast. It's mostly other people. But I looked on it recently, and the stuff that I did post like months or years ago is just they're not flattering photos at all, and it just doesn't look. So like if a girl asks the Instagram, it's just not built up, and I kind of wish it was not like that, and I wish it was like I wish more people asked for Twitter. I look really good on there. I get a lot of
Yeah,
engagement.
I think Instagram is the way. Like, I asked my son something the other day. I'm like, do you guys like, do people do Twitter? And he's like, no, Twitter is so for old people. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they laughed that I even made a Twitter account.
Yeah, I think
You're right. It's
Facebook
Instagram.
and Twitter are very old. Instagram and Snapchat are very young. TikTok's very young.
Yes. But
Although,
Instagram for sure, I think is the new way.
yeah,
You know, hit me an Instagram. And I have an Instagram account. I don't know. I don't use it that often. I'm kind of like you.
yeah. I think um, I think TikTok is kind of it gears itself towards what you like, and if you like, I don't know the satisfying things where it could be really boring but really satisfying, like people going and taking out certain like snacks and then they're putting it in containers and they all fit nicely in a fridge.
Hmm.
It's so boring, but it's like that's so satisfying. You have those videos. You have like the 9 month cruise videos. You have right now I'm on. I think I talked to you about this scary TikTok after like 2 a.m. So that gets really fun. And then I'm on. Yeah, so scary TikTok where it's like super creepy stories and super like yeah people out in like graveyards and stuff at like in the middle of the night. That gets really fun. Um, You're not really on TikTok. You don't scroll on there, do you?
I do once in a while. I don't go on there a lot. Usually I'll go on YouTube and do a lot of the shorts there, which are really a lot of the TikTok is a lot of TikTok stuff as
Yeah.
well. Um, but to me, I could just go down a rabbit hole. Like I'll get on there and like someone will send me and I'll just look and I'll just keep going and go. And then I look and it's like 2 hours later. And now I know how to like peel a lime very easily, make a potato casserole, watch a guy squeegee a windshield, and like you like
Same.
so I just go down and because Will be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in the rabbit hole." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I've just been watching shit for like 3 hours now, and I can't quit." Just it is pretty addicting for sure.
I love it. It's a good way. I feel like it's a harmless way to waste time. But yeah, you are wasting time.
Oh yeah,
Speaking,
like the Joe Rogan shorts, and I'll
yeah.
just sit there and like I can't stop.
Speaking of wasting time, we've been at it for 2 hours. Do you want to end it here and then talk off camera for a little bit?
Sure, that sounds like a plan. I think whoever is on is probably like they did well. I think we did really well the first what
Hour?
hour. I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
talked Veve and Omi, and then we went down the rabbit hole.
Get sidetracked. Thank you
So
guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for being here.
thank you
And thank you to
guys.
Lori Brenner. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Goodbye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow.